Hey, deserving listeners, 90 Day Fiancé, let's watch. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor. As I always say, don't use YouTube as a replacement for therapy. If you need a therapist, get one. You deserve it. Let's watch.
Who's Paul?
Oh, you want to know?
Oh, you don't have to.
I can tell. I want to open it in front of you.
Okay, so Gino saw a text from someone on her phone and looked at it and said, oh, who's that? And as a way of not having a double standard, Jasmine comes over and says, oh, okay, well, let me show you. Comes over and says, I will show you exactly who this, you can look at my phone, so there's no questions. So it's pretty functional. I don't think every couple has to do this, but you could really get out ahead of any kind of jealousy feelings by just being like, oh, open book, here's my phone, check it out. I wonder how many people could save their marriages if they had that kind of policy, their relationships if they had that kind of policy. It's also possible that she is passive-aggressively saying something to him and saying, this is what I want you to do. And like I said, you don't have to do this. People are entitled to their privacy. I think that there's some interesting ideas and values around this. And of course, we want people who coincide or talk about their values. But there's nothing wrong with saying, look, you cannot look at my phone. I have private conversations with people. Just because we're married or we're in an intimate relationship doesn't give you access to everything that I am or every conversation that I have. I have the ability to have a private conversation with a friend, in person or on the phone, and it's not reasonable that you have access to everything that I am talking about. It's not okay. And I think that needs to be said. Now, you don't have to be that way. You don't have to be in a relation. If that's a deal breaker for you, that's fine. But I feel like it's important to, and they don't really talk about that on the show. Like Gino could say, look, I am not cheating on you. And you do not have access to everything that I talk about. I can have private conversations. You cannot look through my phone. I'm not hiding anything from you, but I have private conversations with people. If a friend of mine texts me and it's something about their life that they don't want you to know about, then it's not okay for you to look at my phone. I have confidential conversations at work about things. Like there's boundaries here. So I wish there were more explicit conversations about that. But I will say that Jasmine is like being, pretty functional in this moment, just an open book. If Gino had any jealousy, I'm guessing this will help.
So how is a friend, Paulina?
Oh, okay.
Yes. And so what I want you to do right
now
you. Is do the same with your messages.
So this is a passive-aggressive thing, meaning, oh, let me show you what I'm doing. Now, if Gino's cool with it, then okay, this is just a demonstration of this is how I would like you to be with me. But I just wonder if he's okay with it. I'm guessing he's not cheating on her, so probably there's nothing to hide. But like I said, there could be private conversations.
Oh, you have a friend request?
It's also, I think, more functional than what we've seen with other couples is that she's like, let me look at your phone, but you get to see what I'm looking at. I'm not going to take it away and you don't know what I'm looking at. We're going to look at it together and I'm going to look at this stuff. So if Gino's cool with it, which looks like maybe he is, and she can click around and ask questions, maybe this will help.
I don't know if she's joking or she's serious. Like when she asked to see my phone,
You're a good boy.
turns out she was, serious about it.
Sorry for getting crazy. It's just that you're a man.
Yeah, but you know that you're all I need. I told you that.
Okay, so she's saying sorry for getting crazy, meaning sorry for getting insecure and needing to see your phone, but then she's, instead of saying, but I get insecure sometimes, she says, but you're a man. What does that mean? Like men are inherently cheaters? No. Women don't cheat? Yeah, they do. So what does that mean? So I would have preferred her to say, sorry for invading your privacy, But I get jealous and I worry sometimes, so thank you, instead of you're a man.
Let's say, maybe 20.
That's why these people get used to it, and then us Panamanians, they want to charge us that, and we don't have that money, so no.
She was good. I'm just saying,
You have something with the waitress.
All right, so there's that jealousy coming out. And it is interesting, the tipping culture in the United States compared to other parts of the world. It's just such a normal part of the United States. And I think maybe, I don't want to say particularly Seattle culture, but there's a lot of tipping going on. It's just this automatic thing. And I've also seen it increase. When I was a kid, it was 10%. Then I remember it went up to 15. Now it's like 20 or 25, maybe even 30%, which I think is fine. I'll often do the 30% because, especially during the pandemic and the lockdown, it's just like I feel really thankful that they're working and too worried about their bottom line. But I suppose it's possible that for Jasmine, because she isn't used to tipping, and his insistence on tip, because it just feels wrong. Like I've been in other countries where you're not supposed to tip or it's not normal to tip, and I just feel, it feels really rude. It's like someone coming up to me and saying hi, and I just like don't respond. I'm like, screw you, I'm not gonna say hi to you. It just feels, it's so ingrained in our bones in the United States that it's hard. And so sometimes I have to go, okay, just, you're not supposed to. Some people even say it's insulting sometimes to tip, or they don't even know what to do with it. Like, what do I do with this? So, and there's a lot of nuances there, of course. But so maybe for Jasmine, she is thinking, your insistence on tipping must mean that you like her. You're trying to get with her. Instead of seeing that it's a cultural difference. Let's see how they manage this.
it has nothing to do
You
with...
have something with the waitress.
No, I'm just nice. They work really hard and they...
I stopped listening to you like 5 minutes ago. Do whatever you want.
Yikes. So it's one thing to be jealous, and she was handling it okay earlier with the cell phone thing, but now she's like, because you're polite to the waitress and you are thinking about tipping her, that must mean you have a thing for her, and you have essentially cheated on me and betrayed me and abandoned me. You've done something terribly wrong to me, and therefore I'm going to punish you. I'm going to feel betrayed. I'm going to feel hurt. I'm going to get angry. I'm going to give you the silent treatment. I'm going to punish you emotionally. For what? So this points to abandonment trauma, betrayal trauma, infidelity trauma that she's been through, and she's transferring that past onto him. But I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there. They didn't show all the scenes. Maybe he was flirting with the waitress and they just didn't show it.
It was so good until now. You ruined everything.
Okay, so let's look at how long it takes her to recover. Will it take her a minute to recover and say, oh, I think I'm being unreasonable? Does it take, when they leave the restaurant? Does it take until the next morning? Will she ever recover? Will she ever say, I was probably being unreasonable, I'm sorry? Let's see how long it takes.
Because I want to spend the rest of my life with Jasmine and propose to her on this trip. Let's go. But she really has to start building trust in me, or this is not going to work.
And he seems to be taking it okay, but it could feel really bad to be in Gino's shoes. It borderlines on being a victim of emotional abuse at this point, to be treated like this because he wanted to tip her, because it's customary in the United States to tip. And then she just turns on him and emotionally punishes him. That's, it's pretty extreme.
The last time I was intimate with someone, it's been a while, yeah.
I mean, so when they show these scenes, I'm like, do you really have to get the cameras like in there? Like, isn't this an intimate moment, a private moment? But on the other hand, the physical dance, if you will, is a part of love and compatibility often, not for everyone. And I will say that the way that they are coming together physically, it's the first time? Is it the first time? Wait, I always forget. Some of these people have met beforehand and some of them have not. I think they have not met. So this is their first time, right, getting together. Anyway, at the very least, we can see that there's some awkwardness. If they were in a real dance, he seems to be stepping on his feet or her feet, which is, of course, normal. It's their first time. There's always, or not always, but there's often a bit of awkwardness, getting to know each other's rhythms, if you will. But it's also notable, and maybe it will affect things moving forward. All right, well, if you haven't become a patron of the podcast, that's the best thing you can do to show us that you appreciate what we're doing here, truly. And thank you to all of you who have become patrons of the podcast. You can use the link below or go to patreon.com and go to our page and become a patron of the podcast. Becoming a patron means that you are, in a very real way, supporting what we're doing. I would not be able to do any of this stuff if it weren't for the patrons. I'd have to be spending all my time at the other jobs so I can pay my bills. When you become a patron, you literally pay my bills so that I don't have to do those things and I can do this. And also, if you're a patron, and you can become an upper tier patron or an annual patron, that helps us out, but only if you want to. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.